I'll go straight to the waiting room every time.
You only have a little screen to use.
Yeah, that doesn't have an HDMI plug, does it?
So we're trying to get Dr.
it's the
Dr.
plug that
There he
will
is.
connect you to
Dr.
the
Taylor, welcome.
Let's see on this side.
So we're trying to get Rita hooked up over there. Is that, do we need to wait a little longer to get Dr. Horton and Dr. Johnson? Okay, all right. Alan, how we doing?
All right, Dr. Clark, we're live.
All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. This is March 16th, 2021. This is a special meeting of the Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting is being streamed on YouTube with a 15 to 20 second delay. Today's meeting is being recorded as approved by the board. I would like to ask for a moment of silence for the victims of COVID-19 and the healthcare workers that treat our fellow citizens during this crisis. Thank you very much. Dr. Collada, would you please read the mission statement?
The mission of the Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners is to protect and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Louisiana through licensing, regulation, research, and discipline of physicians and allied health professionals in a manner that protects the rights and privileges of the licensee.
Thank you, Dr. Collada. I would like, somebody's getting some feedback on me. Maybe need to mute the mics. Okay. I would like to invite any public comments to be emailed to publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov, and they will be read into the record. Again, publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov. I remind all of our staff and board members that your mics may be muted and to use the raise hand function to be recognized. Also ask that once you recognize, please state your name before speaking. I also advise that if you mute your mic yourself, it may be unable to be unmuted by Dr. Collada or Mr. Phillips. You may notice some changes to our executive session information. These changes are to protect the due process right of affected practitioners. Additionally, we now ask that any additions to the executive session agenda be added now or anytime before the completion of the public session. We will be no longer able to add additions to the executive agenda after the close of the public session. Right now I'd like to have a little comment that I prepared. I've asked for this board meeting to be called for the discussion of whether we should adopt a resolution to educate the public. Unfortunately, there exists some confusion in regard to the scope of practice when it pertains to the LSBME. The objective of this resolution is an effort to clarify the law, our rules, and the intent of the board. As professionals, the board members of the Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners have always kept the focus on the patient in all matters. Serving and protecting the public is the essence of the board's existence, not to be self-serving. So today we take time to discuss whether the board should take the step of communicating a document to the public for information. Dr. Collada, are there any comments from the public?
None at this time, sir.
We will give a few more minutes. The council has asked that we go into executive session before we discuss the resolution. So I'm going to give a few more minutes for the public to make comments. We hopefully will be in executive session for 10 to 15 minutes. It could be longer for those watching on YouTube, but we will be coming out of executive session eventually to discuss in public session the resolution. So again, Dr. Collada, any comments?
Ms. Wilton has her hand up.
Ms. Wilton.
While you're waiting for that, would you like to have Dr. Collada call the roll of the members present?
That would be important. Could you please call the roll, Dr. Collada, and see if we have a quorum?
Yes, sir. Dr. Weather.
Here.
Dr. Johnson,
Here.
Dr. Horton,
Here.
Dr. Yu,
Here.
Dr. Taylor,
Here.
Dr. Clark,
Here.
Ms. Sport,
Here.
Dr. Valentine, Dr. Valentine, Dr. O'Neill,
Here.
Dr. Thomas.
Here.
You have 9 of 10, sir. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Wilton, for reminding me to count the roll. And as mentioned before, we'll be going to executive session, and the process is that we'll ask for a motion and a second and an approval, and then we'll wait for Mr. Phillips to disconnect us from YouTube before we go into executive session. So may I have a motion to go in executive session?
Kim Sport, so moves.
A second?
Second, O'Neill.
Dr. O'Neill, second. By voice vote, all say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any dissension? Hearing none, we'll be going to executive session. Mr. Phillips, please discuss